Lights, camera, action. You're tuned in to Don't Be Tardy. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome back to episode 10 of Don't Be Tardy. Is it 10 or is it 8? It's up there. We're up there.
We're done.
I'm a little delusional after the day America had yesterday. But welcome back. We definitely needed this episode. We needed to just get away from our lives for a second. I'm your host, Elayna. You can follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay.
Hey guys, Suzette here. You can follow me at Suzette Babb on Twitter and Instagram. And this is Candace.
Hello, it's Candace Rice, aka Pim Fried Rice. You can always follow me on Instagram at _Pim Fried Rice.
Episode 8.
It's episode 8. Clearly, I'm like jumping the gun, and I'm thinking it's already
Got too
10.
excited, like,
That's
too
okay.
excited.
I think I jumped like in the future, like I'm like propelling forward. But this episode, Lights, Camera, Action, was a lot more fun, and it was what we've been anticipating this whole entire season.
Super fun.
As far as Brielle finally going on auditions, we got to see a lot from KJ this episode, so we're gonna jump into him a little bit later. But Brielle went to Access Hollywood.
Very cool.
How was
So
that for you? It
cool.
was really awesome.
I actually I loved seeing how determined she was. So I think we can all maybe assume that because she has this platform and her mother is who she is, she maybe would feel entitled to jump the gun and be able to have the position that she wanted initially. But to see her actually wash dishes, for one, and
In her heels.
yes, and be willing to start from the bottom and have the passion that she has to accept an internship or be a PA to get to where she wants. I really like that about her.
Absolutely.
About her being there.
It's very scary to be 19 and just to be, she's already been at E and now she's at, Access Hollywood. Like, that's nerve-wracking. And I thought she did really good with just kind of the improving, just pretend you're at the Grammys. I thought she did really, really well. So I do think that she wants it. Of course, I want to see her having to do the internship and kind of having to, take baby steps before she's just like thrown in.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that, Anthony, the guy at Access Hollywood who she was working with, asked her to improv as if she was on the red carpet at the Grammys. And although it was a little awkward and she was hesitant, the fact that she didn't complain about it and she didn't give excuses, she was like, okay, let me just try to go for it. That was respectable. That was like, okay, you're not giving me any flack, because I feel like if it was at home or if, her mom would actually to do something out of her norm, she would have been like, girl, no. So the fact that she like digested it and she was like, okay, let me try to, and she came up with a great scenario because
I thought so too.
while she was speaking and doing her, audition almost, I kind of visualized what it was that she was saying, and it was believable. It wasn't even awkward. So definitely kudos to Brielle for that. And we did get to see her fight for herself this episode a little bit more than we have ever, as far as
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
As far as her wanting to have some kind of independence and almost, go against her mom, like, why can't I move out the house?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, when you're 19, you shouldn't have to ask to move out. When I was 19, it's time and you do it. She's constantly asking and digging because I think she's waiting for her mom to say, I'll give you this so you can make it happen.
Yeah.
When she has the skills, just like most of us, to just make it happen. Because it's like, if I'm 19, I'm not asking mom, can I leave? It's like, okay, you need to be like, hey, I'm leaving. This is my plan. I'm going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm an adult. I can do this. And that's why... Kroy's like, well, then why aren't you going? And
exactly. And I
she's
honestly think if she
too.
did that, though, I think they would be more inclined to help her sooner.
Yes.
But in order for her to come up with that plan, do you think that Kim is kind of prohibiting her from taking those steps? Because she's almost like, you have your little baby duckling or your baby bird. She's like keeping her home and not necessarily forcing her home, but saying, no, don't leave. So we don't know how that's translating for Brielle.
Of course. I mean, like you were just saying, if at that age, if I'm in the house and no one is forcing me to leave, why would I go?
Well, and at the end of the day, it's like she doesn't want to get a job, so her mom creates this being my assistant, I'll give you money. that's not really a job. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you're running some errands for your mom, which you should be doing anyways
I
because
do
you're
for
not
free.
paying. Right, you're not paying. You're not paying for your rent. You
If
know.
I could charge my mom, I would. Hello, where's my check? We actually heard Brielle ask for her paycheck. She said, hey, I'm moving, give me my paycheck. That would be me. That's my stance. Excuse me, gas money, please. Thank you. We did hear Brielle make a good point, though. She was telling her mom that, she was asking almost, why are you trying to keep me here when you have 5 other kids? So we talk about the Biermanns having such a big family all the time and having so many kids. Do you feel like, I guess we never really talk about it from Kim's perspective. Is it really just that mom holding too tight? Because if she was the only child, I would understand a little bit more. But because they're such a big family, it's like...
Yeah, but again, you have to remember that, it was just Brielle and Ariana and Kim for such a long time.
Yeah.
And being that she's the oldest, they are more like sisters and best friends. So that's very, very scary to have. It's like, that's Kim's security blanket, to have her go away. Like, that's, and I think it's the same thing. Like, I think Brielle wants to go, but I think she's really, really afraid to go. She won't have her family there to support her and help her, and they won't physically be there. It's different.
And I think we know from personal experience just how big the city is and how lonely it can be when no one else there. Whether you have a bomb job or not, sometimes outside of work, you just want to hang out. And even if that means laying, just hanging out on the couch and having a drink or two. Brielle's 19. I'm joking. But, just hanging out and bonding with whoever's there. So I understand what you're saying, and I do get it, but I think that part of her growing into her own, she's going to have to take this step, and she's going to have to leap out there.
But
Kroy's going to force her. I think Kroy is going to, really put his foot down, because you can tell him getting frustrated with Kim wanting to keep her there, and with Brielle's, I don't want to immaturity in her outlook on getting a job and things like that, which is not a bad thing. We're all not aware of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's 19. We've all been there. She just has to grow. But I can tell Kroy's getting very frustrated with it. And I think he's going to be the one that's going to push her. And as the man of the household, he's just going to maybe have to tell Kim, hey, look, we have others.
Listen, I always believe in life. You can create your own circumstance. When I was in Minnesota, I produced my own little hosting things. I did student films for acting. She's in Atlanta. Why can't she be a correspondent for Access Hollywood in Atlanta, or just rent out a studio? In Atlanta, there's tons of shows. Have her own little show or get her YouTube channel going.
Yes.
There's other things. It's very scary to go from A to Z, and especially right now in entertainment, as we know how hard it is to get your foot in the door. She's in Atlanta. She could be doing, I really believe she could be doing her own stuff to kind of start there before just thinking, I'll just go to LA.
I agree with that.
It's very tough out here.
Yeah. Kroy brought up a perfect perspective a little bit, not perfect, but he brought up a perspective on the show, and he was just saying that anyone who's going to be someone doesn't live at home.
You have to.
Do you guys agree with that?
Jump out there.
He said unless they're making an app, and then that way they become billionaires overnight.
Although that is somewhat true.
There is some truth there.
Yeah, Ray Romano lived at home, but he was, writing his idea for a show at 35. So again, live at home, create your own little things in Atlanta, get your own YouTube channel, get a podcast. There's things that you can do, and then maybe Access Hollywood doesn't think you need to be in school. They're like, oh, you haven't, look, we're giving you help. Really?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's just that would be my gift to her, is that you can create on your own.
And then she has a fan base. Access Hollywood may come to her, when she start building her own thing.
Especially having family there, she can really get an apartment outside the home if she wants that freedom. You brought up school, and during the show, we kind of got a little bit from Kim just about how we know that she supports Brielle 100% in everything that she does. And we kind of got a confessional from Brielle talking about college and almost not wanting to go, and how, Bill Gates didn't go to college and now he's a billionaire. And you have Kim there saying, yeah, no college. And I know that we all have different backgrounds as far as whether we've gotten further, whether we have further education or not. So how do you guys feel about that? Do you think, I don't agree that a parent should push a child into college if the child doesn't want to go to college, but do you think that Kim should be saying, okay, well, get a certificate or go to some kind of broadcast or take some hosting classes or something like that? How do you guys feel about that schooling?
I think that I'm looking at it from both and I agree exactly with what you said. To make the situation a bit more productive for Brielle, I agree taking a few classes, even if you go to a community college or something like that, to put forth the effort towards what you want to do in a classroom and academically. Then yes, you do this, then we will finance you going to Los Angeles, that type of thing. However, on Brielle's end, and the way, you know, we all know the entertainment industry works, she really essentially does not need a degree with who her mother is. And I can only imagine the contacts that Kim has in Atlanta. Maybe not here in Los Angeles, but in Atlanta, everyone knows who she is. And so, to be honest with you, and going back to what you said about using her resources, she really doesn't need a degree. It really would just be, you know, them putting towards, you know, money.
Look at all the Housewives of Atlanta fashion shows. Like, I mean, there's always, you know, a host that can be there for that red carpet, or she doesn't need to be in school unless she wants to be a journalist or doing the weather, which isn't the direction she wants. Right now, you have a hit show. People know who you are. This is the time to leap.
Yeah.
This is it. The show could go off in 2 years, and then what?
I love that you mentioned that there's other connects, like in the Housewives of Atlanta, that she can kind of go through. I'll get to that later because we don't know what their relationship is like. I'll get to that later. But let's drift over into the other superstar of the family. KJ had his first audition this episode. He's hilarious.
He's a
KJ
star.
is
I really
so
agree.
funny. It's crazy.
I agree.
He's also very unpredictable, as Kim would say.
He's a naughty little boy.
He's very much so his own.
You know?
And he does act like he's 40. We got snippets of him sticking the middle fingers to the camera, cursing out his
He says, "Get out, Mom and Brielle." Lock the door behind him.
Yeah, cursing out his family. Literally, he'll kick them with his, you know. Calling his sister Brielle is annoying. Honestly, it's cute. It is cute at this age, but I'm scared for what it's going to develop
what
into.
it could turn
They just
into.
let him do what he wants, because it'd be worse if they try to tell him, "Don't do that, you're bad." You almost just, you know, his type of character is only 4. He looks 9, but he's only 4. You know, they just kind of have to let him roll out his thing.
And we kind of got a little bit of that parenting from Kroy when they were at the audition, and KJ was going through his lines, and Kroy was like, you know, the way that he approached KJ to do it better was in a very proactive
He's
way.
just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in a way that wouldn't allow KJ to shut down and still give him the enthusiasm. So how do you guys feel about the audition and just kid actors and going into the business? I know that we talked about it a little bit, but now that we're able to see KJ's behavior and his chemistry with the casting directors, how do you feel now?
I personally think that KJ just maybe needs more training. That's all that is. With something like acting, it can be trained, it can be taught to a child. So I just think that Kim needs to invest in getting him some classes, getting him comfortable in front of the camera. You could tell that he really wasn't comfortable, and then he didn't want his mom watching him and things like that. So maybe somebody to help him with lines and help him with, I don't want to say enunciation because he's so young, but, you know, just pronouncing his words better and speech and performing in front of a camera and at auditions. And I think that he would be amazing. He'd be great. He has a wonderful look. He's a redhead, so, you know, that's always, that's always like a little moneymaker kid right there. So
we talked about it before. I think that he should just start in Atlanta again. They're in like a hub that's supposed to be bigger than LA right now. Like, you know, they should be repped there. I think that he just has so much energy. He'd be a hard one on set because he wants to run around and hit, you know, he just is like this ball of energy. And we talked about it before. Having one child in the business affects an entire family. You're literally a casting director. You have a 10 o'clock, you have a 10:45. It's running late. You missed a nap. You know, that's a tough thing when you also have Brielle that wants to shine, and then you have Kroy looking for a job, and you have Kim doing her own thing. So
the blessing in it all is that they have help, which we kind of saw on the camera today.
Yeah.
And the kids are very familiar with the people who are helping them and getting them dressed and things like that. We know that KJ has a larger-than-life personality. That we know. My concern is just how exposed we were able to get to him today, and the casting director saying, well, a kid who makes it as a child actor knows how to listen. If we know anything else, it's that KJ doesn't listen to anyone except for Kroy. So that's going to be a little
have to be there all
difficult.
the time.
And that may not happen. So we kind of got a preview into next episode of the family may be moving. We don't know if they're going to be moving because of Kroy playing football. If that happens, then while he's away, who's gonna be there? Like when KJ's on set, Kroy can't physically be there.
and it's too
Right.
dangerous. We know what happens to child stars. You know, if the if the parents aren't there. So
no, what
Right.
happens?
what?
You know,
To child stars?
You know,
Back
they
in
go
the
down
day?
the wrong. They go down
That's
that
because I'm
wrong
older
path.
than you. I mean, the child stars from back in the day. They
Are you saying like as they grow older, or just like the I guess the things that that happen
a
negatively
lot
on
of
set?
child stars from like TV world and sitcom world,
Drugs and stuff?
drugs, alcohol, you know.
because they
They're
literally
super
have
confined.
everything. They have
to
everything
them.
at their fingertips, and so you can literally get into anything, and who can stop you? You've made all this money.
I
and-
guess I figured that lifestyle would happen for, preteens and teens and not necessarily.
Drew Barrymore started drinking when she was like 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, I was still playing with Barbie.
Wow. I'm like at a loss. I don't think,
I'm
I
saying
get it.
that unless Kroy can be by his side.
Right.
Again, I keep saying they're in Atlanta. You don't need to come to LA. You're in Atlanta. Like some of us want to go to Atlanta because that's where work is right now.
Right.
They need to be, going to auditions there and seeing what's happening there.
Absolutely. That's a little scary to just put your child in that business. But then again, KJ is such a big man.
Oh,
like
yeah.
although he's he's still a toddler, he's such a big man, and he's so stern in where he stands and the thing, like at least with what he thinks, that I'm confident that he's gonna be the moneymaker for the family. Like he's gonna, not that they don't already have money, but he's
Right.
gonna be able to really push them in a different direction, allow them to explore a different avenue than they haven't already. Speaking of kids in a little bit of trouble on set or off set, on this episode we kind of, when Kroy and Kim and Ariana were in the kitchen, they were having a little moment. We heard Kroy mention that Ariana was she was grounded. He was like, if you want your weekend back. It was very brief. I don't know if you guys caught
I
that.
missed it.
He was like, if you want your weekend back, eat the leaf, when she was supposed to be eating the flower or
I
something
see.
like that.
Oh, wow.
So he mentioned that she was grounded. Now, I love the show. I wish we would have known why was she grounded? What did she do to cause her to be grounded? Like, what is that dynamic like? When do you step in and punish?
You're saying Ariel?
No, Ariana.
Ariana,
sorry,
okay.
When do you step in and punish your children? Like, I think that is an aspect
Yeah, you
that
should've told
we
us.
would want to see more of, just how Kroy is being stern with Brielle moving out and
Yeah.
taking that initiative. I would have liked to known more about,
Yeah, absolutely.
that situation. Well, it's time to move into a little bit news and gossip.
Yay.
You got some.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so the news and gossip isn't really that big of a deal. All that's happening is I was comment creeping on
We love
Instagram, and the Shade Room posted this thing where they had Chateau Sheree from Real Housewives of Atlanta and Kenya Moore's homes. So they had
More Manor.
More Manor. So they had like beef about their homes, and the Shade Room was just asking which one would you live in. So I scrolled over the photo and I saw Brielle, and I was like, hey, what do you have to say? So Brielle goes, Chateau Sheree all day. That house on the bottom, a quarter of the size of Sheree's. LMAO. So she was talking about More Manor being a quarter size.
Ooh.
Now, the reason that that's gossip for me is because it's juicy to know that, her mom was a part of the Real Housewives class, and we don't know what the relationship is like as far as like with her mom and Sheree or her mom and Kenya. We don't know about any of that. So it was nice to see Brielle step in. Do you guys think that she should not give her opinion, or do you think it was just like all in fun and games?
I don't think she should, just because she has so many trolls that are saying really nasty things about her. But I guess she's not saying something specifically like about someone's look or something.
Yeah.
So it's, maybe in all fun, but, like if you're cyberbullied, you shouldn't cyberbully back.
Great
Yeah.
point. Great
You
point.
know?
I think that it might have been just fun, and she probably knows that they're not going to say anything back because of who her mother is.
Yeah.
So, I think she's just a little sly comment that she could probably get away with.
Her mom and Sheree are probably like friends.
Yeah.
So she's probably like,
But it's tough because, if you're a host, okay, when we think about Billy Bush, we think about Julianne Rancic, it's all fun and games until someone finds that
and then
and
they
you lose
say,
your job.
absolutely, great point.
So that's another thing. Like that makes in the hosting world, it like makes me nervous. Like you're so funny. It's like you have to think about everything before you say something.
Yeah.
You
That's
lose your job.
That's a great point. I love that our gossip is about Instagram comment creeping, but it's all good. Before we go out of here, we want to leave you guys with some predictions for next episode.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
This is still my favorite part of the show. What is gonna happen next episode for episode 9? Where are you guys leaning?
Well, I'm excited to see Ariana's love interest. She's so young.
14.
And, you know, and then they had the little clip where she's just like, I really like him. And, you know,
She's so chill.
Yeah.
I know. So she's in love, basically. So I want to see what he looks like. Like, what's his style like? Is he nerdy or is he a cool kid or I don't know.
Now, Ariana's in 8th grade or 9th? I think she's like
14, so
one of
maybe
those.
8th.
Interesting. So that middle school love. Who's the boo?
I know. I used to get caught up in middle school. It was tough. It made me a woman.
Not in middle school.
Oh my god.
I went through it.
So crazy. I want to ask you about it, but we don't have the time. So maybe next episode.
Oh my god.
What's your prediction?
Well, I'm curious now about Brielle being in love at 14, and I'm happy that we're getting a one-on-one with her and Kim. And then, of course, it's like it is back to Brielle and this whole. I feel like it's been 2 seasons or 3 seasons of like, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, if it is a fact that she needs money or take a loan out for them, it's like, you're smart. Ask in a serious way. You know, soon you're going to be 20. I don't think she's ever had a job, doesn't have a resume, is not in school.
Yeah.
You know, it's time, you know. So
Yeah.
and then of course, you know, it stinks because we already know that we already are living in the present, so we know what happened, you know, to Kroy. So it kind of stinks that way. But I would like to see, you know, Kroy go in a different direction, like we've talked about, than maybe football.
Yeah. So for next episode for me, I feel like we're gonna continue to go on this ball that we're going down, or this hill that we're going down. So the season started off really slow. We were just like, we want more, and now we're starting to get more personal into their lives, and that's what I've been wanting. Because, you know, watching the show, we feel like we're there. We feel like we're friends. We feel like we're the 7th child, or whatever the case may be. So I am hopeful that next episode we'll get more into the personal aspects of each child, each family member, and so forth.
Yeah, Kim, send us some
Hey.
cashmere collection too. I'm like,
She won't let it
waiting.
go. She won't let it go.
I'm just waiting.
Please.
Absolutely.
Well,
Try it.
send these samples before the
Until-
season's over.
Samples, please. Until next time, guys, it was great chatting about the episode with you. Of course, you can follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay.
You can follow me at Suzette Babb.
And you can always hit me up at _PemFriedRice on Instagram.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.